Boomers made saving money look simple. They built wealth, bought homes, and retired with cash in the bank. But for millennials, saving money feels like running uphill with a backpack full of debt. According to a recent study, over 58% of millennials have less than $10,000 in retirement savings. Boomers had stable jobs, affordable education, and fewer money traps draining their bank accounts. The gap is real, and it's not closing anytime soon. Here's how boomers built strong savings habits and what millennials can learn from them today. Their strategies weren't complicated, but they worked. But before we go any further, yes, this is an AI voice, but a real person wrote this. I earned my financial freedom, and I'm not doing this for money. I don't like narrating videos, so I use an AI voice. Ignore that the voice is AI. The video is worth it. Check out the full details by visiting the link in the description. A culture of financial discipline. Boomers didn't just stumble into financial security, they were trained for it. Their parents lived through the Great Depression and drilled into them one core principle: don't spend what you don't have. Debt was the enemy, and saving was the only way to get ahead. It wasn't about luxury, it was about survival. That mindset stuck. Millennials, on the other hand, grew up in a different world. Credit cards were handed out like candy, buy now pay, later became the norm, and flashy lifestyles were marketed as goals instead of traps. The shift from financial restraint to instant gratification made saving an afterthought. For boomers, it was a priority. If there's one lesson here, it's that discipline still matters. The system may be different, but the principle remains. If you want financial security, you have to make saving a non-negotiable. Affordable education costs. Boomers had a major financial advantage right out of the gate. College didn't cost a fortune. A 4-year degree at a public university? Adjusted for inflation, they paid about $40,000. Millennials? They're looking at $90,000 or more. And that's before you factor in loan interest. That means boomers started their adult lives without crushing debt. They could buy homes, invest early, and build savings without massive loan payments eating up their income. Millennials, on the other hand, are stuck playing catch-up. Instead of putting money toward investments, they're paying off degrees that may or may not pay off. The takeaway? Education still matters, but so does strategy. If you're going into debt for a degree, make sure it's one that pays dividends. Otherwise, you're just handing banks a lifetime of interest payments. Stable job markets. Boomers had another edge: stable jobs with real benefits. The economy was growing, pensions were common, and staying at one company for decades actually paid off. That stability made saving easier. When you know your paycheck is secure, planning for the future feels possible. Millennials? They stepped into a job market full of layoffs, contract work, and stagnant wages. Job hopping isn't just a choice, it's often the only way to get ahead. And without guaranteed pensions, retirement planning is completely on their shoulders. So, what's the move? Adapt. Stability isn't coming back, so financial flexibility is key. That means building an emergency fund, maximizing any employer-matching retirement plans, and creating income streams that don't rely on a single paycheck. Employer-provided retirement plans. Boomers didn't just save, they had help. Employers used to hand out pensions and 401k matches like they were standard benefits. All they had to do was sign up, stay the course, and watch their retirement funds grow. That automatic security was a game changer. Millennials? They're lucky if their job offers a half-decent 401k, and even luckier if their employer contributes anything at all. Many are stuck in gig work, freelancing, or contract roles with zero retirement benefits. That means if they don't save on their own, no one else will. The solution isn't complicated, but it takes effort. If there's an employer match, take it. It's free money. If not, setting up an IRA and automating contributions is the next best thing. Waiting isn't an option. Lower healthcare costs. Boomers had another financial break. Healthcare wasn't an endless money pit. Insurance was affordable, medical costs were manageable, and out-of-pocket expenses didn't destroy savings. That left them with more breathing room to invest and plan long-term. Millennials are dealing with a different beast. Skyrocketing premiums, high deductibles, and medical bills that can wipe out a savings account overnight. One trip to the ER can mean years of payments. It's not just a financial burden, it's a constant source of stress. So, what's the strategy? Take advantage of HSAs, health savings accounts. If available, shop around for the best insurance plans and prioritize preventative care. Cutting corners on health is never a good idea, but neither is letting medical costs derail financial progress. The influence of peer pressure. Boomers didn't have Instagram telling them they needed luxury vacations, designer wardrobes, or $10 lattes to be successful. Their spending habits weren't shaped by influencers showing off rented lifestyles. Peer pressure existed, but it wasn't a 24/7 feed of comparison. Millennials? They live in a world where everyone's highlight reel is on display. Seeing friends buy homes, travel the world, and upgrade their lives creates a false sense of what's normal. The pressure to keep up leads to unnecessary spending, and saving takes a back seat. The fix? Get real about financial priorities. Social media is a highlight reel, not reality. The smartest financial move is ignoring the noise and sticking to a plan that actually builds long-term wealth. Boomers practiced deferred gratification. Boomers didn't expect everything immediately. They understood that saving meant saying no to short-term wants in favor of long-term security. They waited, planned, and made financial moves with patience. Millennials live in a culture of instant everything. Need a new phone? Put it on a payment plan. Want new clothes? Same-day delivery. Credit makes it easy to buy now and deal with the consequences later. That mindset kills savings before it even starts. The key here is shifting focus. Delayed gratification isn't about suffering. It's about winning in the long run. The less debt you take on for things you don't need, the more money you keep for things that actually matter. Saving was encouraged through simpler banking systems. Boomers didn't have flashy banking apps, investment platforms, or 100 different ways to spend money instantly. Banks made saving easy. Interest rates on savings accounts actually meant something, and financial institutions actively promoted the idea of building a cash cushion. Depositing money felt like a smart move because it was. Now, banks barely reward savers. Traditional savings accounts offer interest rates that won't even keep up with inflation. Instead, financial institutions push credit cards, personal loans, and every other product designed to keep people in debt. Millennials aren't just fighting their own habits. They're up against an entire system that profits when they spend. The best way forward is simple: adapt. High-yield savings accounts, investment platforms, and automation can replace what banks no longer provide. Keeping money in the right places is the only way to make sure it works instead of just sitting there losing value. Lower costs of raising children. Boomers could afford kids without their bank accounts taking a direct hit. Raising a family didn't mean paying a fortune for daycare, after-school activities, or endless digital subscriptions. A single income often covered a household, and life wasn't filled with unnecessary expenses disguised as must-haves. Today, raising kids costs a fortune. Childcare alone can take up half a paycheck, and education, sports, and entertainment drain what's left. Every little thing has a price tag, and saying no feels like depriving kids of experiences everyone else seems to afford. The solution isn't about cutting corners on what matters, it's about making smart choices. Every dollar spent on convenience or trends is a dollar that could be growing elsewhere. Building financial security means getting serious about what's truly necessary. Greater access to public benefits. Boomers had safety nets that actually worked. Social programs, pensions, and government-funded healthcare took a huge financial load off their shoulders. That left more money for saving, investing, or buying property instead of covering basic needs. That's not the case anymore. Public benefits have been slashed, and the few that remain come with strict requirements and long wait times. Millennials are expected to fend for themselves, even as living costs keep climbing. That reality isn't changing, which means the only option is self-reliance. Building personal financial buffers, maximizing tax-advantaged accounts, and using every available tool to keep more money where it belongs is the only real way to stay ahead. Traditional work benefits. Encourage saving. Employers once offered full retirement plans, healthcare coverage, and perks that made financial stability easier. Pensions weren't just a dream. They were a standard part of compensation. Job loyalty actually paid off, and workers could count on structured plans leading them toward a secure future. Millennials get a different deal. Many jobs offer little to no retirement support, health insurance comes with high deductibles, and most benefits now require employees to shoulder a significant cost. Gig work and contract positions come with none of the financial safety nets that older generations took for granted. Complaining won't change the reality, but strategy will. Employer matches on retirement plans should be maxed out. Health savings accounts can double as investment tools, and diversifying income streams can replace lost benefits. The game has changed, but winning is still possible. Fewer lifestyle expectations created budget flexibility. Boomers weren't expected to have luxury vacations, top-tier fashion, or the latest gadgets just to feel like they were doing well. Living within their means wasn't seen as a failure, it was common sense. Their priorities were stability and security, not proving success through expensive purchases. Now, social media sets the bar ridiculously high. The pressure to have a picture-perfect life, complete with high-end experiences and brand new everything, makes it easy to justify overspending. When everyone looks like they're thriving, saving feels like missing out. That's a lie. Real financial success isn't about appearances, it's about freedom, the ability to walk away from bad jobs, handle unexpected expenses, and build wealth that lasts. Every unnecessary purchase delays that freedom. Keeping that in mind makes saving easier. Savings were reinforced in schools. Boomers didn't just pick up good financial habits, they were taught them. Schools covered budgeting, balancing checkbooks, and the importance of compound interest. Kids understood how money worked before they even had any. Those lessons disappeared. Now, personal finance is rarely part of education. Young adults step into the real world with student loans, credit cards, and no real strategy for managing it all. That lack of knowledge leads straight to financial mistakes that take years to fix. The only fix is self-education. Learning about money isn't optional anymore, it's survival. Books, podcasts, and real-life mentors can fill the gap that schools left behind. Knowledge is the difference between struggling and thriving. Less financial stress due to fewer subscriptions. Boomers weren't locked into monthly payments for streaming services, software, fitness apps, and every other subscription draining modern bank accounts. They bought what they needed and skipped the rest. That freedom meant more money stayed in their pockets. Now, it's a different story. Every service operates on a subscription model, making it easy to lose track of how much is going out every month. $5 here, $10 there, it adds up fast. Before long, hundreds of dollars are disappearing without a second thought. The fix is simple. Cutting out unused subscriptions and evaluating what's actually worth the cost puts money back where it belongs. Convenience is great, but not when it comes at the cost of financial stability. Community support reduced financial pressures. Boomers leaned on their communities. Neighbors helped each other, families shared resources, and borrowing instead of buying was normal. That network made financial burdens lighter and allowed for more saving. That support system isn't as strong today. People move more, rely less on neighbors, and pay out of pocket for services that used to be exchanged through simple favors. Instead of borrowing a tool, it gets bought. Instead of family watching kids, expensive childcare takes its place. Building community again isn't just about connection, it's about financial strategy. Shared resources, group support, and even bartering skills can reduce costs and create more breathing room for long-term planning. Reduce dependence on convenience services. Boomers cooked their own meals, fixed what broke, and did things themselves instead of outsourcing every little task. That saved money and built self-sufficiency. Millennials rely on convenience like never before. Food delivery, ride-sharing, outsourcing chores, all of it adds up. Paying for convenience might seem small at the moment, but those costs stack up fast. What looks like an easier option today leads to financial headaches later. Cutting back doesn't mean eliminating convenience entirely. It means recognizing where spending is unnecessary and making smarter choices. The more money stays in circulation instead of flowing out for every minor task, the faster financial stability becomes reality. Practical approaches to transportation. Boomers drove practical cars, carpooled when needed, and avoided unnecessary expenses on transportation. Their vehicles were built to last, and the idea of upgrading every few years wasn't common. Millennials deal with higher transportation costs across the board. Cars are more expensive, insurance rates are higher, and public transit isn't always an option. Add in ride-sharing and luxury car payments, and transportation eats up a huge chunk of income. The key is keeping transportation costs in check. Buying reliable used cars, avoiding unnecessary upgrades, and cutting back on costly travel habits all make a difference. Transportation should be a tool, not a financial drain. A focus on long-term purchases. Boomers bought things to last. They focused on quality over quantity and saw purchases as investments, not temporary indulgences. That mindset saved money over time. Millennials live in a disposable culture. Cheap products, fast fashion, and constant upgrades mean more frequent spending. The cycle is designed to keep money flowing out instead of building up. Breaking that cycle means shifting focus back to value. Buying durable goods, repairing instead of replacing, and thinking long-term saves money. Financial success isn't about having more, it's about making smarter choices. Winning at saving in a different game. Boomers had advantages, but their success wasn't just luck, it was strategy. They made saving a habit, ignored distractions, and played the long game. Millennials face tougher challenges, but the fundamentals haven't changed. Cutting unnecessary costs, prioritizing financial security, and making smart investments will always work. Wealth isn't about income, it's about choices. The sooner those choices shift, the faster financial freedom becomes real. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget the link in the description.